Some of these core seals were done, you need to back it up with plaster to support it. And you embed the cotton fibers in it so the plaster bonds and the whole thing comes off as one piece. If you don't, this is kind of like cheese or tofu, it kind of just breaks apart. It's not a very strong material. Hot gel, because it contains water, after it cures, the water starts to evaporate out. This will start to shrink. So these two pieces were actually the same size at one point. And this one is dry. This is from the last seminar. And now it's kind of chalk-like. It just kind of breaks apart. So you want to take a casting out of your alcinate mold within about an hour. If it's going to be longer than that, wrap it in a plastic bag so the water can't evaporate out. Because if you wait too long, it's going to shrink and you're not going to get good dimensional accuracy. We have a tin-safe silicone. This is Platinum Gel 10. Platinum Gel 10 is a platinum silicone, and it takes about 30 minutes to cure. It's safe for body contact, so you can make a mold on someone's body, hand, arm. And it will be a mold that you can reuse over and over and over again. It's also quite popular in the special effects industry for making prosthetic appliances, fake noses, fake ears, you know, the X-Men, all the Harry Potter products. Yes. And oh, this is Platinum Gel 10. Gel 10. It's platinum cured silicone. Very, very soft and flexible. Food safe? Food safe? It's not food safe. That's something that we're working on. We think we have a product that will pass the test it has to go through, but it's not available yet.
If you have two of those, can you bond them together? Is there a way to bond them?
Two pieces of there are adhesives. The Gel 10 actually bonds to itself pretty well. So you actually use Gel 10 as a glue to glue other pieces of Gel 10 together. There's also a gasket material that you can buy in any auto parts store called Polytek. And Polytek will bond the silicone together as well. Right, platinum silicone. Well, that's a good question because we're going right into silicone. We have two different types of silicones. We have tin-cured silicones, that would be our 70 series. And then we have our platinum-cured silicones, which are our 71 and 73 series. The differences between the two, platinum silicones, like Platinum Gel 10, 71 series, 73 series, are very sensitive to cure inhibition, which means you pour them over a certain surface, and they won't cure. So you make a mold in the morning or at night, pour your rubber, you come back the next day, you peel it off, and it's all sticky and gooey where it contacts the model. It didn't cure. That's cure inhibition. It can't cure here and not cure here. There's a reason. Something on the surface or in the model caused that silicone not to cure. And one of the biggest culprits is sulfur-containing clay. Things like rhomboplastulina has been out there forever, and that clay contains sulfur. You can't use platinum silicones against that type of clay. There are many other materials out there that will cause a problem as well. There are certain oily woods, certain epoxy resins, many sealers, lacquer. You know, you buy spray lacquer out of a spray can. You could line up 10 different manufacturers. 5 would be fine. 5 would cause cure inhibition. So with platinum silicones, you want to make sure you test to make sure that whatever the model is made out of, whatever sealers you're using, whatever release agents, do not affect the cure of these platinum silicones. Platinum silicones do not shrink on cure, and they don't deteriorate from time. So you can take a mold out of platinum silicones, use it 3 times, put it on your shelf, come back in 10 years, take it up the shelf, it's going to be fine, be able to use it again, no problem. The tin silicones, tin-cured silicones, are also called condensation-cured silicones because they give off alcohol as they cure. The alcohol condenses out of the rubber, and that alcohol coming out of the rubber causes a small amount of shrinkage. So if you're doing prototyping where you're casting 2 cell phone housings and they have to fit together perfectly, you wouldn't use tin silicone because a small amount of shrinkage will make a difference in that cast part. But tin silicones are not sensitive to cure inhibition. You can pour them against almost anything, including sulfur clays, and they will cure. They are very forgiving to the mix ratio. You can be off a little bit and it's going to cure faster or slower or harder or softer, but it's still going to cure. The tin silicones do not have long library life. So if I make a mold, this mold will, if I put it on the shelf for 10 years, I come back to it and I flex it, it's just going to break apart and it will be no good. So tin silicones are best if you're using them in a situation where I'm going to take 100 castings this month or this year, so the mold is going to wear out from use long before it wears out from time. Your typical library life might be 2 to 5 years depending on your storage conditions. The silicones are available in a very soft A10 up to an A60, which is 7660. It's pretty firm, about as hard as a rubber on a car tire. It's about the hardest platinum we've got. We do have a 60A tin silicone. It's a 7060. It's designed for use with low temperature melted metals, things like pewter, maybe tin, maybe lead. It's a 7060. Because of the amount of filler we put in there to dissipate the heat, it has very poor tear strength. So if you get it going, it'll just kind of break apart. So it doesn't have good stretch, good elongation. But if you would make a pewter spoon, you'd make a 2-piece mold and you'd get, 20, 50 pieces out of that mold pretty easily. The silicones are ideal for casting liquid plastic. So polyurethane resins, polyurethane foam, and polyester resin. So if you need to make a lot of polyester resin castings, the tin silicones are best. Polyurethane foams, polyurethane resins, the